Welcome back to Preps Today with John Millea. He's John Millea from the MSHSL. For some reason, I always have trouble pronouncing that or spelling it.
Easy for you to say.
Yes, MSHSL. You can find his written work at John's Journal at mshsl.org. There, I did it. You can find his spoken word artistry here at talknorth.com. We are coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios and sponsored by Pizza Barn in Princeton. That's Jody Stay's fine operation. We love that place. If you're anywhere in the Northwest Metro, you are not far away. Definitely stop by, tell them we sent you, and enjoy. We always enjoy when we're up there. Best way to listen to this show or any of our many shows at talknorth.com. By the way, we just added Mark Rosen to our very impressive stable of talent. Best way to listen, subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. I'm very intrigued by a couple of John's topics, especially segment number 2. When you know it's time to retire. I don't know if he wrote that note for himself or for me. We'll find out shortly. But let's start today's show with winter sports ending with a bang.
Yeah. Hey, Jim. We are through the winter sports season with boys basketball last week. It was phenomenal. And it's no secret. I am going to retire. That won't happen until August, but Saturday marked the last day of my final winter sports season in this job with the high school league. And it was phenomenal. Williams Arena was just electric all day. The 4 state championship games, lots of excitement. The only game that was not close was the last one in Class 4A with Wayzata beating Creighton-Durham Hall 80-55. Pretty good run for Wayzata. They won state titles in 2021, 2023, 2025, and they dominated Creighton-Durham Hall. In 3A, a great story here. Alexandria wins its first boys basketball title with a 73-64 win over Mankato East. In 2A, Albany beats Waseca 70-63 in a game between undefeated teams. I think those two came in with a combined record of like 64-0. This was a great game. And Albany's the first undefeated boys basketball team since 2012. That was Belgrade, Bruton, El Rosa. And in Class 1A, they were 33-0. Since we went to a 4-class format in 1997, there have only been 10 boys basketball teams to finish undefeated, and Albany's the latest. And then in 1A, the title went to another first-time champion, Dawson Boyd. They beat defending state champ Cherry 81-74. Two things, well, a lot of things stood out to me, Jim, but here are two that are at the top of the list. Number one, Dawson Boyd. This was not your typical Class A basketball team. Big, strong kids, 6'8", 6'7". I think Dawson Boyd could have played with any team in any class. They were that good. And number two, a big theme of these teams, and this was new. I've been covering these things for a couple of decades. The strength of these high school kids. I've never seen so many kids, not just the 6'7" and 6'8", but of all sizes in all 4 classes, muscle their way to the basket and get a shot off in traffic. And, that wasn't always the case in Minnesota high school basketball. You'd have those dominant, big, strong, under the basket players. But you got these kids, they might not even be 6 feet tall, but they're strong and they can move. And all these good teams are just filled with those kids. It's basketball and it's the weight room. And it was really something to see. That's just another sign of how good basketball is here. A couple other highlights at halftime of the 2A championship game. Our friend Rick Grammond from Piers, an outstanding broadcaster. He received the MSHSL's Outstanding Media Service Award. Very well deserved. I had a nice chat with Rick there. And we're going to try to get Rick on a future podcast here. And I like to write. That's no surprise to anyone. And after the boys tournament, I posted kind of a scattershot piece on John's Journal. It's a couple thousand words. It's a lot, but I took notes all day. This is what we do. I kept my eyes open, my ears open, and I love the behind the scenes stuff. When the teams come off the court and they're in the interview room or they're headed to their locker room, a lot of emotions. There was so much happening Saturday. And since this was my last winter tournament, like I said, I just looked for things that maybe normally I'm not. There were tears in the interview room. players and coaches embracing after winning or losing. There were wild celebrations. Here's just a few other things that were really neat from the boys state tournament. The 1975 state championship team from Chisholm, they held a 50-year reunion at the tournament, and they were recognized Saturday during a timeout. They were in the arena. That was really cool. 50 years since they won it. And this is kind of neat. This is a small school story. So after winning the 1A boys basketball state title, Corey Larson, who's the Dawson Boyd basketball coach, turned to another sport. He also coaches Dawson Boyd's girls and boys golf teams. And the girls are the defending state champs. So he's got some hard work. Corey has some gold medals. And I wrote several posts from the boys tournament all throughout. Anybody who wants to read more, go to John's Journal at MSHSL.org. It was really spectacular, Jim. And, people like to complain about Williams Arena, but I'll tell you what, that place was hopping last week. It was really something cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you could be guaranteed to sell 25,000 tickets, then maybe you need a bigger arena. But for most of the purposes that Williams Arena is used for, it's better to have it be relatively small, very intimate, and very loud.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, like for the 4A game, the bottom bowl, I mean, it was for all intents and purposes full. And there were a lot of people up in the upper level. And that says a lot about high school basketball in Minnesota. So it was really good.
Beautiful. All right. Now, as promised, on to item number 2. John titled it, When You Know It's Time to Retire.
Yeah, this is all on me. These are a couple of signs during these winter tournaments that maybe it's time to slow down. So, and these winter tournaments, these last 5 weeks, it's a long stretch. It's basically 4 days a week, and you're doing prep time before that. You're in these loud arenas for 4 days from morning till late at night. It's great fun, but it's, it is what it is, and I get to hang out at Target Center, the XL Center, Maturi Pavilion, Williams Arena. You can't beat it. It's not heavy lifting. I'm really fortunate to be able to do these things, but the days can be long. The days can run together, and an old guy can forget stuff. So I forgot something hugely important on day 1 of this 5-week stretch. It was girls' state hockey tournament, and I arrived. I was excited. It's day 1. I drove. It's about half an hour from my house in Dakota County to downtown St. Paul and either Target Center or Williams Arena. Pull into the parking ramp. I've got a parking pass at the Kellogg ramp right across the street from the XL Center. I'm kind of excited. Get my parking spot, get out of my car, open the door, the back seat door behind me to get my backpack, which has everything in it. I had left my bag at home. So this was day 1. I called home, talked to my wife. She said, yeah, your bag is down here by the front door. All right, back in the car. So I got a late start, day 1 of girls hockey. That's okay. But I'm like, how stupid am I? So then I make it through the rest of the tournaments. No hiccups like that. Like I said, Saturday at Williams Arena with boys basketball was great. I was just about the last person to leave the building. It was after 10 o'clock. I'd been there for about 12 hours. I'm sitting courtside at Williams Arena. I'm packing up my bag, and I'm making a check. Do I have everything? Is there anything on the table here I didn't pick up? I do the sweep, everything. Everything looks good. I've got it. Take a little trash out to the trash can on the way. Had a great day. Gonna go home, get some sleep. So I get home, unpack my bag, and somehow, I still don't know how, my wireless mouse was not in my bag. So I tweeted Sunday. I said, if anybody sees a mouse outside Williams Arena or inside Williams Arena, a wireless mouse, that's mine. And I forgot to bring it home. So then on Sunday, you make a trip to Best Buy. You spend $16, you get a new mouse, you're back in business. But this is life, I think, when you're closer to 70 than 60. I forget my entire bag on day 1. And coming home from the last day, I leave a pretty important piece of equipment at Williams Arena. So I've never done either one of those things before. So that's the sign. Maybe retirement is not a bad idea, Jim.
I have a counterpoint.
Yes, sir.
My counterpoint is that I have been doing exactly those things since I was 16. So I will do something stupid. And if you didn't know me, you might think it's because I'm older. No, I was doing it when I was 16. I was doing it when I was 24. I was doing it when I was 34.
Yeah.
I always said that Marriott should have named their Lost and Found after me. Because I left something in every hotel in America at some point. And, at some point you get to the point where you're like, well, why couldn't they just hold on to it? So next time I'm there, I can use it. And then I don't have to bring everything because I have a power charger in every hotel room in America. Just keep it.
They know what room you're in.
Yeah, just keep it for me.
Throw it in the Suhan bag.
Yeah.
Give me back. Well, my worst one like that was years ago at the Star Tribune. I don't know if it was a Wild trip or a Timberwolves trip, but it was a game in Chicago at the United Center. And the next morning, a flight to Vancouver. This was when Vancouver was in the NBA, but I don't know if it was hockey or basketball. And to send our stories back to headquarters, there was a wire to connect your laptop to an old-fashioned telephone. Plug it into the back of the phone, plug it into your laptop, send the story. Well, I left that wire in the media room at the United Center in Chicago. I'm not knowing this till I unpacked my bag at the hotel in Vancouver. And I went to the front desk. I said, I need an electronics store. Please help me. And they gave me some directions. And this young guy in this electronics store, it wasn't a store I was familiar with. And I don't know how he did it, but he was putting floppy disks into things. It wasn't just as simple as finding this wire for some reason, but he probably spent 40 minutes on, and he got me taken care of. And I tried to tip him $50 and he just laughed. Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I said, you don't understand how much time you're saving me here. Otherwise I have to dictate my stories back to Minneapolis. I'm already 2 time zones away. You know what that's like, Jim.
Yes.
You file a story when the game's over. You file a story, you might not get any quotes in if I have to dictate to somebody on the desk. So whoever that young man was at this electronics store in Vancouver, he saved my neck. That's a lot tougher than, me driving 10 miles to Best Buy to buy a new mouse. So yeah, we're all forgetful at times.
And Canadians really are that polite.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. Canada's a good country.
It is. I'm surprised he didn't apologize to you for not accepting your tip.
Right. That's exactly right. I could have paid him in Rudies and Tooties too. Sorry. So sorry. Yeah.
All right. We're going to get to John's most valuable teammate for the week. John also has some thoughts on Niko Medved, who will probably be coming to a high school near you to recruit your best athlete. Right now, though, we want to hear more about Pizza Barn in Princeton and Jody Stay.
Yeah, we're rolling through March. We're getting through March here at a pretty good clip. That means the pizza of the month at the Pizza Barn is the classic Reuben pizza. This is one of their all-time favorites. They start with the famous Pizza Barn homemade crust. They throw on 1,000 Island dressing, chopped corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss, mozzarella, little black pepper. It's darn good. You can get it for dine-in, carry-out, take and bake, or delivery throughout the month. And remember about the Pizza Barn's fantastic lunch buffet Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 1:30. You're guaranteed to find a whole bunch of delicious options every day. So get in there and enjoy that buffet. And as always, thanks to our great friend Jody Stay and her crew at the Pizza Barn for more than 40 years of great work, community support, and just great service to the community.
Yes. And once again, we're coming from the Aquarius Home Services studio. And so thanks to Aquarius Home Services, thanks to Jody Stay and Pizza Barn. All right, let's get to this week's most valuable teammate.
Yes, sir. A.J. Weber plays hockey at New Prague, and despite an injury that ended his football season, A.J. was at every hockey practice working on rehab and supporting his teammates from the sideline. A.J.'s resilience and dedication have served as inspiration to everybody, demonstrating the true meaning of commitment and sportsmanship. Congrats to A.J. Weber on being named a most valuable teammate.
Excellent. Now, Niko Medved, what do you think?
My guy, Niko Medved. This is our new Gophers basketball coach coming from Colorado State. He's a Roseville guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pretend to know Niko, but I do have a photo with him this is years ago. He was not at Colorado State. The connection between Niko and myself is Dave Thorson, the longtime former boys basketball coach at De La Salle. They both were on Clem Haskins' crew back in the day. Niko was a team manager. Then I think a graduate assistant when Dave was on the staff. So in 2017, Niko was hired at my alma mater, Drake, down in Des Moines. Dave left De La Salle to become an assistant to Niko at Drake. And Dave set up tickets for my wife and I on a couple of occasions when we were in Des Moines and the Bulldogs had a home game. We sat with the family members, the coaches, and the players. This was pretty cool stuff. I'm an upper deck kind of guy. That's where I generally sit. But when Niko had one great year at Drake, then he moved to Colorado State, where he had been an assistant previously. So Dave moved with Niko to Colorado State. And then when Ben Johnson was hired, Ben played at De La Salle for Dave. Dave came back here. So the selfie, not really a selfie, Dave Thorson took the picture, is from that 2017-28 season when they were at Drake. It was just happenstance. I was way out in western Minnesota, basically right on the South Dakota border across from Brookings, working on a story. It was an overnight thing. My wife went with me. And we spent the night at a hotel in Brookings, just down the street from South Dakota State. I'd posted some tweets that I was out there. And the next morning, my wife and I were having breakfast. I got a text from Dave Thorson. It said, I'm paraphrasing, it basically said, are you in Brookings? We're playing here tonight. I'll get you guys tickets. And we were planning to head home. We weren't going to stay for another night. But the timing was good. The Drake Bulldogs were having a shoot around that morning in the gym at South Dakota State. So Dave invited us over. So we walked into the gym, and Dave introduced me to Niko. We had a nice chat, took a picture of us. And so I posted on social media as the rumors were swirling this photo of myself and Niko from December of 2017. And I said, one of these two looks like it's going to be the next coach of the Gophers. And of course, the smart Alex on social media, some of my friends were like, well, we know you're changing jobs, so congratulations. And, but yeah, so I've got a picture of me and Niko. Here's another thing that is crazy. I know someone who went to Roosevelt High School with Niko Medved. I'm not giving away any names or anything else. This person, this is a female person. I have photos in my possession of this person and Niko Medved at the prom in like 1992.
Wow.
Several photos. And I think at another dance, like the winter dance or the snow dance. This is not Niko's wife. This is somebody from high school. I've got a lot of ideas to use these photos. I might show them to Niko someday because, these are really young looking high school kids all dressed up for prom. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty cute. And I was telling this friend of mine who spent time with Niko Medved in high school, said, how come people like you and Niko, you look so cute in high school. You just look cute and adorable. And then I look at pictures of myself in high school and it was just hideous. How does that happen? I guess some of us are just hideous and that's okay.
It's worked for me.
Hideous is not a bad plan.
No, it's good. It builds character.
That's, I guess.
Having acne all over your forehead when you're trying to ask a girl to dance in high school builds character.
I was Napoleon Dynamite before Napoleon Dynamite.
I was Napoleon Dynamite without the suave fare. What's the word?
Swagger.
I reached for a word there. I combined like 8 different words. Savoir faire. That's what I was trying to say. Which is, of course, making my point. But I couldn't get the right word.
That's right. Point made, Napoleon.
Oh, beautiful. Well, good stuff.
There you go.
I think Niko's going to be great. It's going to be fun to have him around.
I do. He's a good guy. I listened to his press conference and he's he won the press conference. That's easy to do. But I think his track record, I think like you wrote, he's the right guy at the right time. And we'll see what happens here.
He should be in the Sweet 16.
Let's go.
Great freshman doesn't make a crazy difficult shot at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Niko's in the Sweet 16. So
that's right.
The man can coach.
He sure can. I think he's a good dude and welcome home, Niko.
Yes, sir. Great stuff, John. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.